We will see the gross anatomy of the duodenum in this class. Duodenum. It is the proximal, dilated, and fixed part of the small intestine. Do you know who coined this word duodenum? The name was first used by the Herophilus in 300 BC, and it is derived from the Latin, which is the corruption of the Greek word dodecadactylos, which means length of the duodenum is equal to the breadth of the 12 fingers. That's how this part of the small intestine was named in the beginning. It is devoid of mesentery. So the jejunum and ileum have the mesentery. The duodenum, it is the proximal part of the small intestine, but it is devoid of mesentery. Shape C shaped, so that this C encloses the head of the pancreas, and it is divided into four parts: first, second, third, and fourth part. First will also be called as upper part, 5 centimeter. Second part is also called vertical part, 8 to 10 centimeter. Third part is also called horizontal part, 10 centimeter. Fourth are the ascending part, 2.5 centimeter. So these are the parts of the duodenum. We should now see each part and its relations. This duodenum may be asked as the essay in the theory exams, or it may be given in the practicals, so that you should describe the relations and also the interior of the second part of duodenum. First part starting extends from the pylorus of the stomach to the superior duodenal flexure. What is the superior duodenal flexure? Is the junction of first and the second parts. It is opposite to the L1 vertebra. So this L1 vertebra you should have learnt in so many places. That is the transpyloric plane. So that the pylorus of the stomach lies at L1, fundus of the gallbladder lies at L1, and this superior duodenal flexure, hilum of the kidneys. So many structures lie in this level, transpyloric plane. So you should remember this L1 level. What is the direction of this first part? Upwards, backwards, and to the right. So are you seeing in this first part of the duodenum, which is the continuation of the pylorus of the stomach? What are the anterior relations of the first part? Quadrate lobe of the liver, neck and body of gallbladder. So in the quadrate lobe of the liver we have learnt it is related to the first part of the duodenum. So that is the anterior relation of first part. Do you see the posterior relations of the first part in this image? You are seeing one duct, bile duct, and also we have seen in the celiac trunk class that one artery which runs behind the first part of duodenum, gastroduodenal artery. So these are the posterior relations of the first part. Behind this will be the portal vein and inferior vena cava. So again in the posterior relations of the first part of the duodenum, you can see in the right side image bile duct, gastroduodenal artery, portal vein and inferior vena cava. So these are all the posterior relations of the first part of the duodenum. Above, this forms the lower boundary of the epiploic foramen or floor of the epiploic foramen. So that you should have read in the epiploic foramen topic. So above epiploic foramen is the caudate process of the liver. Below is the upper border of the first part of the duodenum. And also it gives attachment to the lesser omentum. So it gives attachment to the lesser omentum and it forms the floor of the epiploic foramen. What is below this first part of duodenum? It is simple. It overlaps the head and neck of the pancreas. So we have finished the first part. This first part differs from the rest of the duodenum. What are the peculiarities of the first part? We will see before we go to the second part. It is the more movable part of the duodenum and behaves more of stomach than that of the duodenum. In the beginning introduction to the duodenum, we told this is the fixed part of the small intestines. But first part of the duodenum is the most movable part of the duodenum. What are the other peculiarities of the first part? As it behaves more of a stomach, it may be affected by the peptic ulcer. The cause is it is supplied by the end arteries. One more peculiarity is it is devoid of the circular mucus fold, which is the characteristic feature of the small intestine. So this first part differs from the rest of the duodenum. Now we will continue with the second part of the duodenum. From the superior duodenal flexure, that is the junction of first and the second part. It is vertically downwards in front of the hilum of right kidney up to the inferior duodenal flexure. What is the inferior duodenal flexure? It is the junction of second and the third parts of the duodenum. It is opposite to the L3 vertebra. So second part of the duodenum is from L1 to L3 vertebra. In front, in the middle of the second part, runs the transverse colon. It is crossed by the transverse colon. So above the transverse colon, right lobe of the liver. You should have learnt in the inferior surface of the right lobe of the liver. Second part of the duodenum is related. That is the duodenal impression we have learnt in the liver. So that is the above the transverse colon. Below the transverse colon, coils of jejunum. So in this you can see it is the transverse colon is cut to show the second part of the duodenum. So what is running in the front of the second part of the duodenum? Transverse colon. Above the transverse colon, duodenal impression of the right lobe of the liver. Below this, coils of jejunum. Behind, this second part of the duodenum will be just in front of the hilum of the right kidney. I think you can understand this in the picture. So it will be situated in front of the hilum of the anterior surface of the right kidney. So what are the structures in the hilum of the kidney? Renal vessels and also the pelvis of the right kidney. And other relations are right psoas major and right edge of the inferior vena cava. So these are the posterior relations of the second part. Medially, head of the pancreas and also the anastomosis of the superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal arteries, and the two ducts run in between the pancreas and the head of the pancreas, and second part of the duodenum is the bile duct and main pancreatic duct. So laterally what will be present? Lateral to the second part of the duodenum, So in this you can see what is lateral to the second part of the duodenum, right colic flexure. That is the junction of ascending colon and transverse colon. So in this you can compare all the relations of the second part of the duodenum. In front, transverse colon. Behind are you seeing hilum of the right kidney. So that right renal vessels entering the hilum, and also the pelvis of the right ureter, and the right edge of the inferior vena cava, which is not shown in this, is right psoas major is not shown. Medially you can see in this head of the pancreas, laterally right colic flexure. So in this one diagram you can understand the all the relations of the second part of the duodenum. Now in the same image you try to see the third part of the duodenum. Third part of the duodenum, what are the structures passing in front of the third part of the duodenum? One artery and one vein, which we have learnt already in the superior mesenteric vessels class. So they are running in front of the uncinate process of the pancreas and the third part of the duodenum. So they will form the anterior relations. What are posterior to the third part of the duodenum? So up to the right edge of the inferior vena cava is the second part. So the third part will be over the inferior vena cava and the abdominal aorta. Above will be, what will be the relations of the third part? Head of the pancreas. Below will be the coils of the jejunum. So now we will continue with the third part of the duodenum. So interior of the second part we have covered in the separate topic, but for time being we will see it has circular mucous folds and major duodenal papilla and minor duodenal papilla. Major duodenal papilla is the opening where the bile duct and the main pancreatic ducts open. Minor duodenal papilla is the opening where the accessory pancreatic duct opens. So third part, from the inferior duodenal flexure, so up to the front of the aorta. Okay. Second part is up to the right edge of the inferior vena cava. This third part will be just over the inferior vena cava and the aorta, abdominal aorta. It is lying at the level of L3. So anteriorly superior mesenteric vessels, which is right and which is left. Artery is to the near the midline and vein is to the lateral to the artery. What are the posterior relations of the third part? Right psoas major. So I think in this you can see the right psoas major, which forms the posterior relations of the second part also. Now for the third part also, right psoas major, right ureter, inferior vena cava, right gonadal vessels, right edge of the abdominal aorta. So if you know this one diagram, you can mainly represent all the relations of the four parts also. Above is the head of the pancreas, below is the coils of the jejunum. Duodenum fourth part, from the front of the aorta to the duodenojejunal flexure. So what is this duodenojejunal flexure? I think you will be knowing. It is the junction of the fourth part of the duodenum and the jejunum. So where is this duodenojejunal flexure situated? It is situated on the left side of the L2 vertebra, about 1.25 centimeter below the transpyloric plane. So what are the relations of this fourth part? You can remember second part and fourth part will have the same anterior relations. So what is the anterior relation of second part? Transverse colon in the middle. Same will be continuing to the fourth part also. Transverse colon and mesocolon. And also postero-inferior surface of the stomach separated by the lesser sac. Behind are the, so up to the third part is lying over inferior vena cava and abdominal aorta. Next to that, this fourth part will be lying. left crus of the diaphragm, left psoas major, left renal vessels, left gonadal vessels, and inferior mesenteric vein. So if you see the fourth part, it is just lying over the left crus of the diaphragm. So small part which is lying over the left crus of the diaphragm, left psoas major also you can see, left renal vessels and left gonadal vessels. What is right side to the fourth part? What process? Uncinate process of the pancreas. Left side, left kidney and ureter. Above is the body of the pancreas. So these are the relations of the fourth part. So as I told you, try to learn this one image for all the four parts. That will be the easy to draw and write the relations of the all the four parts. Blood supply of the duodenum. First part is having separate blood supply and other parts are having the same blood supply. What are the first part of the duodenum? Supraduodenal branch and retroduodenal branch, which are the branches of gastroduodenal artery. As we told, these are the end arteries. So supraduodenal branch of gastroduodenal artery will be sometimes called artery of Wilkie, and retroduodenal branch of gastroduodenal artery supplies a part of the posterior surface. Sometimes infraduodenal branch of right gastroepiploic artery also supplies the lower margin of the first part. So remaining will be supplied by the superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal arteries. The superior pancreaticoduodenal artery is the branch of, again, this gastroduodenal artery only. Inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery is the branch of superior mesenteric artery. It is the first branch of superior mesenteric artery. Applied anatomy of the duodenum. It has many applied anatomy. It is, as we told, first part is same like stomach, behaves more of a stomach, so prone to ulcer, duodenal ulcer. If this first part of the duodenal ulcer perforate, what is the artery? Main artery behind this is gastroduodenal artery. So there may be the bleeding in the ulcer. How to investigate this duodenum? Or the GIT investigation usually will be the contrast X-ray taking. That will be called as barium meal. Contrast X-ray means some contrast material will be given for oral ingestion. So that will be called barium meal, and we will see the space occupying lesions in the GIT. We visualize like that. The first part of the duodenum usually will be visualized as duodenal cap. What is that duodenal cap is? A triangular radio opaque shadow will be observed in the first part of the duodenum after barium meal. This may be distorted in the, normally it will be appearing like duodenal cap. If it is distorted in peptic ulcer or some growth, malignant growth of the duodenum. Second part may be compressed by the annular pancreas, which is the developmental abnormality. So that two pancreatic buds, they don't meet and fuse. Instead, it encircles the second part. It will be called as annular pancreas. So it may compress the second part. Third part of the duodenum, it is most prone for the external injury in this. In the four parts of the duodenum, this is the part which is prone for external injury. How to investigate the pancreatic ducts or the gallbladder and its ducts? Usually endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography, ERCP. So that this will be, that probe or this will be just instilled into this major duodenal papilla or into the minor duodenal papilla to see the extrahepatic biliary apparatus or the pancreatic ducts. So that will be called as endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography, mainly done in the second part of the duodenum, which has the major duodenal papilla and the minor duodenal papilla. So we have seen the duodenum in detail in this class. Mainly the relations of the four parts of the duodenum you have to understand. Instead of taking so many diagrams in some books, you try to learn the duodenum with one complete diagram as if in the body, so that it will be easy to understand and write. So with this we will complete this topic, and we will move on to the pancreas in the next class. So this is the duodenal cap, as I was telling. X-ray of the barium meal, stomach and duodenum is visualized. Duodenum is appearing as the cap. Also you are seeing the small intestines in this X-ray.